Hello, is everyone tonight? I am excited to read. I haven't read yet today other than my audiobook. And I have a little fly flying around. I got him! Nice! Oh, I didn't really expect to actually catch him. Okay, my pest is gone. So tonight I am starting my arc of The Harris and the Woodsman by Christine Hill Sons. It comes out August 11th, I want to say. Canadian author, set in Canada. I'm excited about that. Historical fiction. It says near Toronto, 1837. But I just did my nails, so they're a little damp still. So I'm going to read for the first sprint, and then I will update my reading journal in the next sprint because I finished a book last night and I haven't updated my journal. But yeah, so that is my plan. So let's check in, see who is here, and what are you reading or doing this evening. So we have Dina. Hello. I am reading After You'd Gone by Maggie O'Farrell. Nice. Morgan is reading South of Somewhere by T.I. Lowe. Hello. And Jamie. Hello, friends. I am home. Yay. Did you have a good trip? I really enjoyed your little short on Adventures in Odyssey. I remember, I actually have some of the tapes of that from listening to them as we were kids. Sam, hello. I will be switching between a few different books tonight. Okay. And Tanya, hello. I'm reading The Trader's Daughter by Heather Blanton. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. I feel like my lighting is weird tonight and I haven't changed anything. I don't know. Maybe I did make an eye appointment today because I noticed, like, getting to work, I thought, well, my glasses are just dirty because my computer screen felt really blurry. And I'm like, I don't know. So I cleaned my glasses and it's still, and I'm like, yeah, I think it's time. And Bethany, hello. I have 5 books beside me. I'll probably read a little bit of them all. Yeah, not me. I do have another book beside me. It's my audiobook. And Paige, hello. I'm reading The Forget Me Not Library by Heather Weber. Nice. Hello, Lucy. How are you doing? And Alma says, hello. I will be reading a Sherlock Holmes story tonight. Which one, Alma? And Tanya says, Bethany, I feel you on that. And Elma says, yes, you do. A little different, darker. Yeah, I can't figure out why. I've got nothing different. I don't know. And Sammy, hello. I'm finishing Low Count. Why can I not read that? Low Country Lost by T.I. Lowe. So the second T.I. Lowe book. And Jamie is, I will be working still my e-arc of Pride and Practicality. And thank you about the short. That is such a neat little place. Yeah. I'm like, should we go there on vacation? I don't know what we're doing yet. Hello, Annie. I am reading Homing by Grace Livingston Hill. I don't know. Homecoming? I don't know what the title is. And Katrina, hello. Gonna start with Faithful of Heart while doing dishes and then switching to Gentle Rebel by Gilbert Morris when I finish. And Alma says it's called Scandal in Bohemia. And M, hello. I'm starting a Regency Cozy Mystery, I think. Oh, I started, okay, last night. I'll be reading that. Hello, Michelle. I will be reading the 4th Emma M. Lyon. Not surprised to see that one in here. Somebody reading that. Not surprised at all. Okay, let's jump into our first sprint. We'll go till 35 after, so a 30-minute sprint, and then we'll come back and chat. Oops. Now I don't know what I'm doing with my computer, apparently. Gosh, try to type one number. Okay, and here's the ambience I found. Happy reading.
Charlie's having a friend over.
Oh.
Do you owe more than $10,000 in Canada on things like credit cards, payday loans, or lines of credit?
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 40.
Okay, that is the end of our first sprint. How did you do? I got 2 chapters read and made it to 7% in this book. And I assume we've met both of the main characters at this point. We've met a couple, so I assume like a couple people. Let's see, where were we? Okay. So Alma said yay to a Gilbert Morris book. Annie said the title is homing. Maybe it's an old-fashioned word since the book was written in 1038. Okay, it is an old word. Sammy says, wow, old book. That's cool. Jamie said 1938. That kind of makes more sense. Julia, reading A Distant Shore by Karen Kingsbury tonight. Are you liking it? I liked that one. My book is Regency and a cozy mystery called An Invitation to Murder by Leanne Dobbs. In this book, the homestead that Charlotte is living on is called Edenbrook. To the south lay Edenbrook, a comfortable, sprawling house, more than an overgrown cottage than the English manor it was named after, because it's in Canada. I just thought that was so funny. And the word Edenbrook has been mentioned a number of times so far because somebody's trying to buy Edenbrook and she lives at Edenbrook. And yeah, I just thought that was really funny and it made me think of them. Bethany says, I'm going to start with Pride and Prejudice tonight. Lucy is cleaning and listening to Emma. And Anne is here. Hello, I'm reading Miss Austen at the moment and eating popcorn. Yummy. And Sammy finished her book. Nice. And Katrina says, congrats. And Elma asked, did you like it, Sammy? And Tanya said, yay, Sammy, how was it? That's on my TBR. And Katrina made it to 47%. Bethany read 2 chapters in Pride and Prejudice and 2 chapters in With Love, Wherever You Are. Nice. And Sammy, generally, yeah, I liked it. It was beautifully written. 4 stars. Go ahead. Morgan got 11 pages read. Hello, Morgan. And Sam said, I read 25 pages of One Last Stand, number 4 of the Alaska Air One Rescue by Susan May Warren. And Sammy's asking Bethany, what chapter are you on? Alma's read 12 pages, and Tanya read 17 pages. And Bethany is answering Sammy with chapter 14, and then she asked Sammy, you? And Julia said, yes, it is good so far. I've been on a suspense kick lately. Finished a Colleen Coble book earlier this week and liked it as well. Nice. That A Distant Shore was my first Karen Kingsbury I'd ever read. And Sammy is at chapter 12. I want to read a couple more chapters of Pride and Prejudice tonight. You guys could almost buddy read. You're only 2 chapters apart. And Tanya says, Sammy, I'm interested in reading Wormwood Abbey with you. I saw your post on Instagram. When are you planning on starting that? My library has it on ebook. Wormwood Abbey. I feel like somebody talked about that recently or was going to read it. Like other than Sammy. And have you read it? Maybe that's where I saw it. I wonder. And Paige read 7 pages and dozed on and off. That's okay. I was feeling like that earlier tonight. We had supper and then I'm like sitting, I'm like, And Sammy says, Julia, I haven't read a Colleen Coble yet, but I want to. Yeah. I don't know. What would be my favorite Colleen Coble? The one that sticks out to me is Twilight at Blueberry Barrens. Is that what it's called? Mermaid Moon? Those are the 2. I know that's not book 1, though, of that series. And Tanya says, Julia, you'll like Jeanette's readathon in August for sure. Thank you, Tanya. Yes, so I have Keep Me in Suspense readathon happening in August, where we're encouraging you to read suspense books. And I'm co-hosting that with Caitlin from Chronicles of a Book Nerd. And Sammy says, Tanya, I'm thinking of starting in August. We can read together. Well, there you go. Okay, Anne said, I have not read it, but I want to. Maybe I just heard you talking about wanting to then. Sammy, are you going to do a group read? Ooh. And Paige said, my book is magic realism, and I think it's going to be healing, like Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Okay. Nice. Nice. So I have a question, and I'm looking for suggestions of ideas. So I love playing my TBR game. I love setting a TBR and following a TBR. I'm not so much of a mood reader. However, looking towards the future, really looking forward to next year's plans, I cannot have as many books on my TBR game as I have had, because I need room for, like, if I'm going to do any book clubs or anything like that, I need room to put them, right? So I'm unsure what to do about the doubles. Plus, I only have 6 things for my doubles wheel. So when I roll doubles, I have to spin the doubles wheel and it decides how that double affects me. Do I have to pick 2 books for the prompt? Do I have to pick 1 book? Do I have to use 2 prompts for 1 book? So that's a little bit harder to combine 2 prompts. Do I just do it as a regular 1 prompt? One is a refreshment break where I don't even have to pick a prompt. So it's just like a free space, keep moving, no books added. Then the other two are I have to roll 1 dice and I have to move back that number. So I could move back anywhere from 1 to 6 spaces, or I have to roll 2 dice and I have to move back that number. So again, it could be anywhere from 2 to 12 spots backwards. And I'm kind of like, should I add more, or should I just like do away with the doubles wheel? Except I know the doubles wheel is kind of fun. So yeah. Okay. So think on that. Do you have suggestions on how to improve or add to my TBR game? Okay, Alma said, I read book 1 of that series, Jeanette, The Calling Cobalt, of course. And of course I haven't read the rest. That was going to be my question, Alma. And Tanya says, yay, Sammy. Will that count as a suspense? Just kidding. There's only the one prompt that it has to be a suspense. If you can get it to fit in one of the other prompts, then you can totally put it on the board. And Anne says, so many fun readathons in August. Yeah, I just saw 2 more announced today. And I was like, wow. And Julia, oh, that's exciting. I'm looking forward to all the readathons. All the recommendations. I read that wrong. And Alma says book 1 was The Inn at Ocean's Left. Why can I not read? The Inn at Ocean's Edge. I liked it. See, I need a glasses appointment. I mean, I have an appointment, but it's not till the end of August. But yeah. And my husband was like, why don't you wear your other pair of glasses? Because I do have 2. Because I feel like some of the coating's coming off of this one, and maybe that's why I'm struggling. But my other pair is too tight here. And I'm like, I have an appointment in a month. Do I really worry about getting fixed now? So I don't know. We'll see. And I already deal with headaches on a regular, so I don't need that, right? And Sammy says, I have some suspense books lined up for the readathon. Which ones? And Sammy, I'm going to read The Truth Seeker by D. Henderson. I have a video coming out very soon about D. Henderson. That's all I'm going to say. And I mean, it's not edited yet, so very soon is a little loosely before August. Okay, Katrina says, for doubles, you need to pick the book from your challenges right then if they are not month specific. You need to pick a book from your challenges right then if they are not month specific. Okay, so do you mean like one of my goals, like one of my challenges? So I have to pick a book like a 26 and 26 book, a reread book, my 10 before the end of the year, like one of those? Or are you talking like, I mean, Alma's challenge is there's a prompt for every month. Katie's and Oshina's, so just like a random prompt out of their yearly challenge. I do kind of like the idea of adding a goal book, like just because it really, I have to pick one of these books. I do like that idea. I mean, that is a regular prompt within the prompt cards, but putting it as a double prompt, Sammy says, gosh, so many books I'm planning on reading in August. And Lucy says, no. I'm guessing this goes with the next. Don't get rid of the doubles wheel. Right? Yeah. I know. The doubles wheel is kind of fun. And Tanya says, I like that idea, Katrina. Yeah, but I want to understand your idea, Katrina. Am I interpreting it the right way, or were you thinking something else? But I like the way I was thinking about it. But I also like it could just, I could kind of like Lucy for her Uno game has the one category. I can't remember what color it is, blue, maybe, don't quote me on that, where it's all challenges. So it's all like booktubers' names, and whoever she gets, she has to pick one of the prompts from their challenge. Okay, and Alma says, I have the books too, and I haven't read them. Story of my reading life. Anne says, I'm sorry, I have no help with your question. Maybe change it to be something totally different that doesn't necessarily add to your TBR. Yeah, like that could be fun too. I did think of a prompt, like one of the wedges, I'm like, what are they called? To be like, ignore double wheel going forward or ignore doubles going forward. But I was like, that might be too nice to me. And kind of ruin some of the fun of it, right? Doesn't necessarily add to my TBR. Could I buy a book? I mean, I guess in a way that's adding to my TBR too, but I don't have to read the book, right? I mean, I could do other fun stuff, right? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Paige said, instead of doubles, make it challenge specific, like whatever challenges you're doing for the year or the month. Yeah, see, that's what yeah. And Alma says, I will make sure that my mother-in-law watches your Dee Henderson video. That is her favorite author. She rereads the O'Malley series all the time. Yeah. I was trying to figure out how many times I've reread the O'Malleys. It's at least 3, at least. But I feel like it might be more. But I don't have a tracker for pre-2015. Is that really my first tracker, I think? So it's hard to say. Yeah. Okay, Katrina says, a book already on your must-read list instead of adding to the number of books. Why am I having a problem understanding? It's the part, instead of adding to the number of books, is where I'm struggling with, what do you mean? Because like adding a book is going to add a book, right? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, maybe my head's just not with you tonight. Oh. And Jamie is back. Hello. I clicked off to record a video. Well, good for you. And Sam says, for doubles, what if one of your wheel wedges was to remove one of your books? Oh, yes. So that's kind of like a nice reward for getting a double instead of a punishment every time. Ooh, I like that one. I like that, Sam. And Anne, yes, buy a book. I like that idea. Yeah, me too, right? And Tanya says, maybe replace doubles with a prompt set for in Canada or written by a Canadian author. And Bethany says, totally random question, but what lipstick shade are you wearing? I love it. Okay, well, let me look it up. I actually just recently got this one and I was testing it out. I've used it a few times now. Because it said it was long lasting, but is it really long lasting? And it is. Where's my orders? Let me see here. So it is a Revlon lipstick, Color Stay Suede ink with a built-in primer, infused with vitamin E, waterproof, smudge proof. And the color is Want It All, number 3. Did you get all that? Okay. Bethany, are you on my Discord? Because I could message you. Or I could message you on, I have your thing on Instagram. I can message you. So I'll leave that open so I remember. Because, yeah, that was, so Revlon Little Lipstick, Color Stay, Want It All is the color. Okay, Alma. I was thinking the same thing as Sam, one that said you could get rid of the last book you just picked. Might be sad, though, if you really wanted to read the book you picked. Well, I mean, I was thinking, like, could I just remove one book from the TBR, right? So then I could pick which book I wanted to remove, because like if I get it, which could be bad, but could be good, right? If I get it on the like my second roll, so I only have one book on my TBR, that would be the book that I'd have to remove. But if I get it like on my 8th roll, for example, then I have 7 other books like to pick from, right? Yeah. Ooh, I'm liking that. I am liking that doubles could be a reward rather than a punishment. That's what I'm really liking. Okay, Katrina said, sorry, you had said you were concerned about adding extra books because of some of the reading challenges you were already committed to. So if you pick one of those, like you're, okay, see, yeah, okay. I am on the same page as you now. I get it. And Anne says, I agree with the idea of turning doubles into rewards. Buy a book, take a book off, etc. I love that idea. So like half the wheel is punishment and half the wheel is rewards. So it could be good or it could be bad. I love that idea. I love that idea. And Bethany said, I did. I texted myself as you said it. Nice. I don't normally wear like a lipstick. A lot of times I wear like a lipstick crayon style, or like a liquid, like comes in a tube with a like a wand thing, rather than like a lipstick, like the traditional lipstick tube. They're both tube. Yeah. But this one was on sale during Prime Days, so I thought, well, let's try it. And it is much cheaper to buy lipstick from Amazon than from the drugstore for Canada, for myself. Anyways, yeah. So I thought, well, let's try it, because it had really good reviews, long staying, because I hate reapplying. I want it to stay majority of the day through eating and drinking and be comfortable. And yeah, so I will definitely buy more colors of this. So thank you. Okay, Katrina says, without having to increase the overall number for the year. Yeah, I'm totally understanding you now, Katrina. A book you were already planning on reading. So yeah, basically, if I had picked a book at the beginning that like I need to get this book onto my TBR because it fulfills my set in Scotland prompt, for example, right? Something I need to read this month that I don't always get on the TBR, because sometimes the prompts don't help me, but I'm like, I really need to read this one. So I totally get it now. And Bethany says, I'm excited to try it out too. Well, I can also share a lip gloss that I absolutely love. It's a NYX NYX. What's it called? I don't normally buy lip gloss, but I got this one. I actually bought this one at the drugstore, so I don't know the exact brand shade I have. But it's a NYX, so NYX, Lip Ivy Hydrating Gloss Stain. The colors selection, not the greatest. I think I have no, it's not that one. I don't know. None of these colors are looking right. So I don't know. But I really like that as well. So yeah. And Katrina says, I hope I didn't add to the confusion. Ignore these comments if I did. No, I get it. You guys have helped me think this through. And Anne says, your whole look today is on point. Thank you, Anne. I'm actually wearing navy, like a navy dress, but it's not looking fully navy. But yeah, but I have to have the jacket because air conditioning is cold for me. And then, of course, I also have my blanket. Well, thank you, Alma. She always looks great. Thank you. Yeah. 2 weeks ago, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law came up for the day. And I had worked that day, so I came home. So I was in a dress. I was in my red dress. Yeah. And my sister-in-law says to me, "You don't have to dress up for us." And I'm like, "No, this is my everyday wear because I hate wearing shorts. I cannot stand shorts. Give me jeans or a dress." So, okay, Sam says the doubles could just be positive, mixing the reward ideas with Katrina's idea, making individuals as the 26 and 26 challenges. There's no reason it has to be negative. I actually kind of like the idea of having negative and positive because you never know which one you're going to get. Now, if I get a bunch of doubles and they're all negative, I might not like that idea. But I do like the idea of, yeah. Okay, Anne says, I buy my makeup on Etsy. It's not long lasting though. When it's gone, and people just have to put up with my face. Oh, Anne. I'm just, I'm self-conscious, very self-conscious. I have horrible freckles on my face. And I mean, I don't know how much you can tell, but that's not even going. Like, I'm very freckled, very freckled. And I cannot, oh, yeah. I don't like myself. Okay, Sam says, doubles can just initiate a challenge twist in the game if you want. Yeah, right? I like that. Okay, let's get back to reading. It's the top of the hour. So we're going to go to 30 minutes and I'm going to write down some of these thoughts. We're going to go to 35 minutes apparently because I changed the ticker last time. We're going to read for an extra 5 minutes. And then we will come back and chat again. Happy reading.
On Rover, there's a service for every dog and cat. First, we offer overnight boarding. Your pet
Kayak told me hotel prices just dropped. Now we can stop scrolling for travel hacks.
Why Marissa Tomei looks even better today than she did 30 years ago.
Ladies, throw away your collagen supplements. They don't even work. Well, let me tell you about this actress who changed my life.
Your class is $40 in this economy?
I have free everyday banking with CIBC Smart Start.
In this economy?
Yep, in this economy. Combo?
In this economy.
Period.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Okay, that is the end of that sprint. I changed the ambient rooms because ads were driving me insane. I watched through a lot of the first one before I started sprinting, and there was no ads. As soon as I put it on to StreamYard, they started getting ads. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's because of the StreamYard thing or if it's more because of the point of the video I was in. Maybe it didn't have any at the beginning and then because I kept going. I don't know. Annoying. But then the second one had ads too. And I'm like, really? Okay, how did you do that sprint? I added some new options to my wheel wedges, to the doubles wheel. I updated my reading journal with the book that I finished yesterday, and I wrote the review for the book, and I submitted the book for the Deck of TBR-a-thon. So that's another 3 points for my team. So yeah. So next sprint, I will read. Okay, where were we? Let's go back here. Okay, so Katrina says, if your year is going to be really busy, keep them positive. You can always add negative if things are looking lighter. Exactly. And Grandma Susan is here. Good evening, all. And Paige says, I used to spend an hour doing my makeup, but I haven't worn makeup in years unless it's for a special occasion. I also don't want to spend as much time putting makeup on, mainly because I'm lazy. An hour of makeup equals 1 to 2 hour face wash. Wow. I do not spend an hour doing my makeup. I spend an hour getting ready for the day, like shower, makeup, hair, and that's like blow drying and straightening and yeah, getting dressed, like, yeah. And Katrina says, animal rounds are done. Nice. Cats and birds are fed, watered, 12 baby quail hatched Sunday and are enjoying the heat lamp. 7 quail eggs, 2 chicken eggs collected. A new batch of hatching eggs goes in tomorrow. Wow, you have a whole farm there, Katrina. And Christina is here. Hello, I'm just getting on now and catching up while you're all sprinting. Love the idea of removing a book. Yeah, me too. And Annette is here. Hello, reading Colleen Coble, Lone Star Angel. And Lucy, we cleaned out our kitchen and read 1 chapter of Wingfeather. Nice. That's more than I read that sprint. Morgan read 21 pages that time. And Jamie checked email. No reading. That's okay. I didn't read either. And Katrina, not much read, but did get to 49%. 10 minutes away from 50%. Almost halfway. Annie got to 88%. Do you think you'll finish tonight, Annie? I don't know. 12% could be long still, right? Depending on the book. And Sam switched to The Author's Guide to Murder by Beatrice Williams et al. And read 23 pages. Nice. And Alma finished my short story. It was only 3 chapters. Sherlock makes me laugh. It was only 3 chapters? That is definitely a short story. And Jamie says, I don't wear makeup, so I can get ready in about 20 minutes. It's great. 5 out of 5, I do recommend. Nice. Yeah, 20 minutes would be good. Alma says, I'm going to read more of my Karen Whittemire book, A Retelling of Little Mermaid. That is Part of Your World. I think it's what that one's called. I want to read that one. I haven't yet. And Anne is more than halfway through my book. Yay. And Tanya said, I read some pages in The Trader's Daughter. I forgot to keep track of the pages. Oops, that's okay. I'm not counting pages. That's too much work. Bethany finished a chapter in Little Women, read 1 chapter in A Rumored Fortune, and most of a chapter in The Yellow Badge. Getting around. And Lucy, the financing for our new furnace came through. Yay! They are installing said furnace on Thursday. Yay! Has it cooled down a bit out there? It's cooled down here. Which means we will have central air again starting Thursday. Nice. And Sammy read a couple chapters of Pride and Prejudice and read 21 pages in Purgatory Road by Samuel Parker. I recognize the title, but I don't recognize the author. And Katrina says, Elma, you will have to let me know how you like that retelling. I'm thinking of getting it for my daughter's birthday. And Sammy says, Central Air, woohoo! And Paige said, skincare was really drilled into me growing up. I was taught however long you spend putting makeup on is the minimum amount of time you need to spend washing your face. Huh. Okay. That, I mean, it makes sense. And good news, Lucy. Yeah, that's really good. And yes, it's in the 70s today. Good, Lucy. Yeah. And Jamie says, part of your world was great. Yeah, she read that very recently. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So what do you want to chat about now? I'm all chatted out. Like, I don't have any questions for you. Now you start. Let's see. And Alma says the retelling really follows the Disney cartoon, just like the Beauty and the Beast one followed that cartoon. Yeah. I don't think, well, yeah, I was going to say I don't think I know The Little Mermaid as well as I know the Beauty and the Beast, but the Disney one, yeah, I think I do. I love Sebastian. And the kiss the girl scene, that's my favorite in the in The Little Mermaid. I don't know. Yeah. And Sammy says, what are people looking forward to in August? Well, I'm looking forward to reading, but I'm also looking forward to stuff. Stuff. We're hoping to have a closure on kind of a thing that's been dragging out for a couple of years now. We should have closure in August, I'm hoping. Yeah, and what else? I want to say holidays, but that doesn't really happen until, yeah, it's not really August. It's more September, really. So we have to get through August to get to September. And Paige says, I went overboard with makeup after high school because I couldn't wear any high school other than lip gloss. And Bethany said, going to Florida in August for my grandpa's 90th birthday party. You're traveling again, Bethany. Nice. 90th birthday. That's awesome. And Annie, I'm in a book club for homing, and we are discussing one chapter at a time. So I'm just about caught up for tomorrow's chapter. Good for you. And Jamie says, not going back to work. You're looking forward to that in August? Not going back to work. And Anne says the Snow White one followed the Disney cartoon too. Did it? I guess. See, I don't know Snow White as well, so maybe that's why I didn't pick it up as much, other than the grandpas, the dwarfs, right? Yeah. Huh. And Christina said, August equals my birthday. Yeah. Yeah, my husband's birthday's in August, and I have no idea what we're doing, what I'm getting him. Nothing yet. I really should think about that. And Jamie says, however, work is coming anyways. Yeah, that's what I thought. And Katrina said, my whole family from Calgary and New Mexico are coming for a short family reunion. Nice. Paige says, I found a book that's a mashup of Snow White and Jack Frost. I've added it to my TBR. Interesting. And Steve said, I'm here as well, though you already know the news. Read 3.5 pages. Yes, but it's really good news, Steve. That's awesome. And Sammy says, yeah, Jamie, I'll be going back to school too. When do you go back, Sammy? Like, when do you start? And Anne says, I'm also going to Florida in August to celebrate my sister's 50th birthday. Nice. And Sammy says, I need to pay for my classes still. So, yeah. Sammy, when does college start up for you? And Katrina's asking Paige, what book did you find? Steve says, dang, you have to pay for classes, Sammy. Yeah. I wish I knew what was going on with my lighting tonight. So weird. Lucy says, I'm excited for cooler temps. Yeah. Yeah, it's been, as much as I like the heat, it's been really warm. And we had a rainstorm today, like pouring rain. And Andrew looked outside at our flower boxes, and our flowers are just like all flat because it just, right, they'll revive, but yeah. And Anne says, and I'm also going back to school in August. Yeah, I don't have that issue, but I also just, work all year round. So there's benefits and there's downsides, right? And Bethany says, and I'll wave if I see you on the roads in Florida. Jamie says, we officially start on August the 10th with the teachers going back a few days before. However, I have to start going to put my classroom together later this week. Aww. And Katrina, Lucy, I left my windows open all day today. That's a sign of it being cooler for sure. And maybe you guys aren't getting the smoke in that area, maybe. I know you're not in the same area, but yeah. So Sammy says the school year starts later than last year, or starts Monday, August the 31st for me. Okay, so before Labor Day. Okay. And Anne says, Bethany, I'll wave back. And Lucy says, Katrina, so did we. Nice. Nice. Bethany says it's almost 10 and it still feels like 95 out here. Yeah. Anne says we had the smoke last week. Oh yeah, it was bad last week. Really bad. And Katrina said it's really, no, Christina said it's really hot and smoky here in BC, Canada. Yeah. I've heard that. And Paige said, Katrina, snow is so white by C. Gokal. And Katrina says, thank you. And Jamie says, yes, it is hot here. Yeah, well, you guys are a bit further south. just a bit, right? Yeah. I don't know. It's supposed to be cold here this week, but we'll see. But at least like last week, you couldn't be outside because the smoke was just so bad. And yeah, it was bad. But we went out Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. It was like, oh, we can sit on the deck and breathe and like not smell campfire, basically is what it felt like, right? But yeah. Okay, wow. We are at 10:02, not quite. But let's go till 20 after, because that will be 32 minutes, unless, I chat for a little bit more. And Jamie said it was hot in Colorado too, but no humidity. My nose was wishing for a little humidity. Okay. Okay, so happy reading. I'm going to read the sprint and we will come back at 20 after. And let's hope for less ads.
Planning to move? Choose Pods.
Of course.
You earned 4.9 out of 5 stars on Google. Whether you're moving across town,
No one wants to be treated like a number. At Meridian, you're not a number, you're a member. Because around here, banking is different.
Is that designer dress from Winners?
everyone who can code in COBOL.
What's COBOL?
This is a job for sponsored jobs.
What's that?
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, Nina just built an
Get on the floor, do your thing.
Hey, Meta, which one is the South Fork?
It's the one in the middle.
And this one?
This one is for oysters.
So many forks.
Okay, that is the end of that sprint. How did you do? I got 2 more chapters read, so I have made it to 15%, chapter 5. And I was just on Facebook and I saw that Brian Dorkson passed away. He was a songwriter. Like Refiner's Fire. I don't know if you know that, but yeah, he passed away this morning. Cancer. He was only diagnosed like a month ago, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Where are we? Sammy. Yes, the smoke was bad. My nose stung so bad, and I was outside only 15 seconds. Yeah, it was bad. Bethany said, "Thank you for the sprints and the lipstick info. I'm headed to bed. Good night." Good night, Bethany. You're probably long gone. Lucy, poor Jeanette in the ads. It's like sprints with Lucy. Yeah, right? But are you seeing some Canadian ads that you don't normally see? I saw HomeSense come up, and that's definitely Canadian. Katrina, 51%. Yay. And Lucy read a chapter and a half of Wingfeather. Good for you. And Morgan got 10 pages read. Making progress. Yeah. Wow, I'm shocked by that news. Because, yeah, he was just diagnosed. And because I don't do it so much anymore, but used to do like lyrics for a lot of the songs. Now they're just automatically imported. But I used to have to type them up like on PowerPoint for the presentation. So I always had the copyright information. So there was a lot of like, I would see his name a lot. And that shocks me. Yeah. And Jamie still didn't read. That's okay. Are you being productive, Jamie? You can do anything else, right? And Paige also did not read. That's okay. That is okay. Well, I don't know. And Paige is headed out. Thank you for the sprints. Well, thank you, and you have a good night. Get some rest. What should we chat about for 5 minutes or so before we start our next sprint? We've lost a few people during that sprint, which is okay. Some people are good about going to bed on time. Some people not so good about it. And Annie got caught up in homing and read up to page 27 in A Girl Called Samson by Amy Harmon. Nice. And Sammy said, I read maybe 20 pages and then I was on my phone. Yeah. I was on my phone when I got to a chapter end because I didn't want to start another chapter when I knew there's only a couple of minutes left. And M worked on my reading journal and tried to make a list of prompts I still need to fill for all of my reading challenges this month. What reading challenges are you doing, M? I'm trying to think what challenges there are. Like, are you talking about like a monthly reading challenge or are you talking about like the yearly prompts? And Christina said, I was also on my phone. Those phones. But they're good, right? I mean, I should have been answering comments rather than just looking at Facebook. But then, like, I looked and saw the news, and then I went to another site, and yeah. Yeah, I really should have answered comments. Okay. Well. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, what to talk about. So I have no idea how oops. Changing pages in my Kindle. Didn't mean to. So I still have a few books to read this month yet. What do I have left to read? Oh. Okay, so I am currently reading this one on audio right now. And then I'm reading The Harris and the Woodsman right now. And then I have The Red Canary is the last remaining book on my TBR. So I should be able to finish before the end of the month because I'm halfway through that one. I'm 15% in this one. I have, today's the 21st. There's 31 days. So I have 10 days, 9 days, depending whether I count today or not. I should be able to get it done. And then I need to start thinking, what do I want to read in August? What do I want to read in August? Okay, and Tanya, I read some, but mostly fed my cats during that sprint. I'm heading out too. Thank you for the sprints. Well, thank you for coming, Tanya. Have a good night. And Steve read 8 to 10 pages in Wingfeather. Good. M says it's still early here. I should be making dinner, but we've had a potluck at work and I ate too much. Nice. Did you Were you here around earlier, Em, when I said my book is talking about a place called Edenbrook? Except it's in Canada. It's where she lives in. Yeah, but it's based on the English Edenbrook. That was funny. And Christina, I have read quite a few books. I have quite a few books to read as well. I pre-drew a bunch of cards for the deck of TBR-a-thon. Yes, I did too. And Em says she's got the yearly prompts and Jane Austen July. Yeah, I'm not doing very good on the yearly prompts other than my own challenge. I really need to go and look and fulfill, because I'm sure I've read books that fulfill some of them. Like, well, let's see, what is July prompts? Let's take a look. So, reading challenges. So I've done mine for July. The Go With The Flow. I have no idea what I'm doing there because I don't know what book I'm using for June. So I can't even look at that one. So for Chantel's, July has a map. Have any of my books had a map in them? Nope. Nope. Highly doubt, highly doubt, highly doubt. I'm not getting up to look. Yeah, I kind of don't think I have that one this month, but I will have a book that fits it. And then, what else do we have? Alma's July is American Revolution. No. No. And that's it for my July. Well, no, there's the buzzword. Wait, July. An occupation. The woodsman? Is that an occupation? I think so. And then the cover challenges is a metallic element on the cover. Oh, A Glitter of Gold has metallic element on the cover. Let me write that down right now. So I've done a couple, I guess. So Katrina said, I did George Washington's Secret Six. It's a quick read, 3 hours on audio. Nice. Oh, for the Revolution. Sammy says, what counts as law enforcement? I'm looking at the August readathon. Basically, anybody who's in a law enforcement. So like think Coast Guard, FBI, police, sheriff, I feel like there was something else I had in my recommendations video and now I can't think of it. Where do I still have my list? Or did I throw it out? It looks like I don't have it. I feel like there was something else though. There was another occupation that I put in that category. Oh, Secret Service, like Texas Ranger, Detective. Secret Service was the one that I couldn't think of just now. And Sammy says, okay, cool. And M says, I'm sort of cheating on has a map because the book I used, the map is a big part of the story, but it's just not pictured in the book. Hey. And Katrina said firefighter. I don't know if a firefighter is really a law enforcement. They're more of a rescue, prevention, stopping something, kind of like they respond to emergencies, but they're not really enforcing the law. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know they enforce the whole having a carbon monoxide detector in your home kind of thing, right? Like there is some enforcement they do, but I don't know. I think that one would be stretching it a little bit. CSI. I think that might be stretching it a bit because they're not enforcing the law. They're trying to find like answers for things happening and catch the people responsible. So, I mean, in a way, I mean, whatever. I'm not policing the board. You know, just don't show me your board. M said, I would say the woodsman counts. I think especially the way it's used in the title, right? Like that's why I think it counts. Yeah. And Katrina said, Mark Harmon wrote a couple of nonfiction about NCIS cases. Oh, interesting. And Jamie says a firefighter would be a first responder. Thank you, Jamie. That just wasn't coming in my head. Yes, a first responder. Kind of like a paramedic. I mean, police also fall into that category, but because it's like law enforcement, not a first responder. But maybe a prompt for next year should be a first responder, because we had like a healthcare worker this year, we had a law enforcement so maybe next year I should do a first responder as one of the prompts, because then you could do a police officer, a firefighter, a paramedic, like would all fall into that. I feel like there should be something else in there, but yeah. Yeah. But then I kind of make me wonder, maybe I stretched it with that Secret Service because they're providing like their security more than enforcing the law. So like, cause you could do like a bodyguard, like if you do like a security agency, like maybe a security character, like you could have bodyguards, the Secret Service, yeah, there's a lot of different occupations, right? A lot that are featured a lot in books, certain books. The prompt, the August prompt for capitals in the title, very easy for a suspense book. Like that's probably one of the easiest prompts to fulfill if you're reading suspense, because majority of them have capitals in the title. I don't know if I even own one suspense book that is not capitals. Not that I can see just looking at my shelf quickly, but yeah, like that's why I didn't do a recommendations video for it, because it was like, here's all my books on my shelf. Or books I've already talked about multiple times, because if they're on my shelf, I talk about them quite a bit. But today, well, technically yesterday, but I filmed the video today, I'm not this book. But I grabbed all these books from the church library so that I could use them in a video and I didn't have to insert pictures. So I just emptied the one section on the shelf. So I will take them back tomorrow along with the book that I borrowed and actually read. I mean, the others I've read previously, but yeah. So, okay. Well, we've gotten a little quiet. So we're going to go into a sprint, because everybody wants to read, right? Well, I want to read. So that's what we're going to do. So it is almost 22. So let's take our last sprint till 5 after. That'll be 5 after 11 for me, after 10 for some of you, and after 8, 9 for some of you, depending what time zone you're in, right? So we're going to read until 5 after. This will be our last sprint, so happy reading. And let's hope for less ads.
This is your brain when you're struggling to focus. And this is your brain when you're in the zone.
The perfect domain tells your brand story. Grab it now on Wix Domains and go from what if to what's next.
Going for impressive range? It's time to Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today.
Okay, that is the end of our sprints for tonight. How did you do? I got 3 chapters read that time, and I have made it to 23%. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So I will be back for sprinting Sunday, August the 2nd, which is the kickoff sprints for the Keep Me in Suspense. So they'll be on my channel, but I will have Caitlin from Chronicles of Book Nerd with me. And Lucy says, firefighters don't enforce the law. Just saying. And Anne has left us. Good night. And Katrina made it to 57%. Good progress, Katrina. And Morgan got 14 pages read. More progress. And Jamie is saying good night. And Lucy finished her chapter. Yay. So it's still early there, Lucy. You could read for a little bit more yet. Or you know, do other stuff, whatever. Well, I want to thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you everyone for coming. And hopefully I will see you on, so Lucy will be sprinting next Wednesday on the 29th with Cece, Reese, and Christy. Yay. And Annie got to page 34. Good. So this week, Em will be sprinting on Thursday. And then Lucy will be sprinting next Wednesday. And Em will be sprinting next Thursday. And then I will sprint Sunday, August the 2nd. And then Tuesday, August the 4th. Right? Second, yeah. So they will be all be scheduled. I will post them ahead of time to let you know. But yeah. Thank you again. And you all have a good night. Bye.